Hey everybody, welcome to another Kirstin and Charlie chat. And today we have a question for you. What are you feeding your mind? Seriously, what are you putting in your ears? What are you have your big mega speakers putting into that brain of yours? If you are like a lot of the world, it might not be the most beneficial information. Did you know that 66% of young adults and teens are entering into depression because they are putting so much of social media into their minds? Yes, that is a fact we are going to dive into, as well as what a success mindset person puts into their mind to avoid things like depression, FOMO, and all of the things. So let's dive into our topic today. All right, Charlie, you and I talk about this offline all the time, about all the things with you. Charlie has such a love of social media. Not. And Kirstin has built nonprofits and businesses off of social media. So sometimes we do clash on things like social media. However, what we do not clash on and we agree on, and I actually love our conversations about, is things like podcasts, audiobooks, videos maybe from YouTube that are healthy, success-driven types of things. So this is going to be a fun one to dive into, Charlie.
It is, and I think one of the coolest things was when we figured out that as we were cutting our lawns, we were doing the same thing. We were both bringing some sort of podcast aligned with health, with maybe business solutions or a positive mindset. And we were putting our headphones on, getting our phones and plugging it in, turning it all on, and then cutting the lawn. And I'm like, oh, that's me. That's what I do. I've been doing that for many years. I love cutting my lawn. And you're like, I love cutting mine.
I know. I love it. I have all my favorite podcasts. And the funny thing is, in podcast land, there's like a podcast for anything you could possibly. When I was going to self-publish a book, there's a whole podcast, all hundreds and hundreds of episodes about that. When I was debating, what is really holding me back in terms of my metabolism when I turned 50 and why am I tired? And there's podcasts about the things that you eat and how you can feel better. I mean, it is like unlimited learning and exciting, and gives me something to do other than sing songs out loud while I'm on the mower because my neighbors can't stand that.
I think it was about 2007, and I was sitting in a conference, and this was nothing like I'd been in the motorcycle business, and I've been in the industry, the blindness industry, to their conferences, but I stepped into a new world, like a personal development, business development, a world I didn't even know really existed. And one of the challenges the presenter asked us to take on in our lives was take a 30-day news challenge. And I thought, what does that mean? Well, he said, do you watch the morning news? Do you watch the dinner news? And do you watch the evening news? I'm like, well, it's on. I don't really know how close I get to watch what's moving on the screen, but I hear it, and my brain is picking it up. Even if I'm doing something else, it's hearing the negative things they're talking about. So he said, go 30 days without it. I'm like, oh.
No news at all for 30 days?
No news, 30 days. And I did it. And I used to have back then they had, glass in front of the TVs. Like they weighed a lot, and they called them CRTs. I had a huge one next to my bed, and it was like 32 inches. It weighed about 300 pounds, and it was like 8 inches. I keep forgetting you can't see me. I was showing you on the screen. It was about 10 inches away from my nose when I laid on my side to watch it. And every single night, Kirstin, I put the news on. I thought it was the right thing to do. I mean, I know what's going on locally. I know that there's been fires and robberies and shootings. And I know that there's been fighting in this town and this board and this school system. And then every so often they might throw a cute little dog thing or something. But for some reason, like, negative sells a lot better than positive. And I realized I was doing that every night. And I'd fall asleep with that thing on. So even though I'm asleep, my brain is still hearing the toxic information that is getting pumped out of that TV. I think it was 15 days that into it, I had this thought during the day, I feel better. I'm not like bringing that garbage to work and saying, hey, did you see about that fire on Elm Street? Oh my God, that sucks. You know, I didn't have that. I didn't have those discussions anymore. It wasn't about, and all that's terrible and all that. I mean, I get it, but I can't do anything about it. So I started noticing I'm looking and focusing on more positive things, and maybe I'm not thinking about what the bad things in the world that are going on, and I'm looking for the people in my immediate circle, how I can better support and help them. And it's like, and by the end of the 30 days, I haven't watched the news since. Now, yes, I have. I mean, obviously, there's been, well, I shouldn't say obviously, a couple times I've walked up, I heard something, and I, quite frankly, my wife stopped watching it. My kids were, they were too young. They weren't watching the news, nor I don't think kids do. But my kids never have watched the news. Never have we eaten dinner with the news on since 2007. Never has it been on in the morning. Never has it been on at night in the house. Nothing. And recently I was saying to my dad, he said, oh, did you hear? I guess I just mumbled the words on purpose. But and I said, no, I didn't hear that. He goes, well, how could you not? And I said, well, I don't watch the news. And it kind of bothered him. And I said, well, I have people like you in my life that tell me the really, really important things, right? You know? And so I never worried. Somebody would say, hey, did you hear about around the corner this happened? No, I didn't. What happened? Thank you for telling me. I got the abridged version.
You know, I stopped watching the news too, and it was actually during COVID, because I couldn't stand anymore that I couldn't trust any of it, because one station says one thing, the other station says the other thing. And then, is this really real? And then everybody's blaming everybody. And I just felt like it was already stressful enough in the initial lockdowns. I mean, I had to get information first, but then when I realized it wasn't giving me information, it was giving me frustration. That was the thing. I was already frustrated trying to figure out things in my house and with my kids, and income getting shut down. And then I'm going to sit there and keep feeding frustration. And I actually sat one time and I was like, what are the things I can control in this home that won't bring more negativity to what's already happening? One of them was the news. And now look, I love my hometown of Philly. I am such a Philly girl through and through. And a lot of the news people here have helped me build businesses and nonprofits. But Philly tends to be, they love just putting on the horrible news, like the shocking, the scary, that became all that I would see on the local Philly news. So I just stopped watching it. And I remember I was talking to young people, my nieces and nephews years ago, when they were all they weren't getting regular, at their college apartments and stuff, they didn't have the regular cable. They were just using the TVs with apps. And I remember saying to them, well, how do you get your news? Boy, did I feel like an old geezer, right? How do you get your news? And they were like, Twitter, there's all kinds of ways to get your news, Aunt Kirstin. I was like, oh my God. Sure enough, I just said to my kids, we're going to get rid of regular cable. There's no reason to have it. We have all the apps if we want to watch anything. And we don't really do a lot of TV watching and vegging and wasting a ton of time with that. We'll watch a movie together or watch some shows in a series together. But for the most part, I just don't do that anymore. I would much rather be filling my time and my ears with something beneficial. And I feel like maybe too, because I'm so busy and I have so much I have to learn about marketing and crowdfunding and building nonprofits, that I can kill two birds with one stone, being out there on the mower and listening to an audiobook or a really good podcast about steps to building stuff. I mean, Wait, here's the thing too. With my mower, this whole thing came about. I've moved and I'm on an acre and a half, which is not a very good move to make when you're a single mom, right? And how you're going to keep up with this property. I had a really great guy that would come, and it was really cheap to have him cut the grass. So that was wonderful last year. And then prices of gas went through the roof. And he's like, Kirstin, I have to add a huge fee on top of the other. And I thought it wasn't economical anymore to have him come. So I got a used mower at a really amazing price through a friend. And I cut the grass myself, and the mower's so good I can do it in about an hour, hour and a half. And I get all that time to feed my head with stuff that I've been wanting to learn. And then I come in and take notes in my notebook like a little nerd so I don't forget what I just learned. And I have the best time out there. Even I met my new neighbor next door, and he was like, man, this thing sure brings you joy. He's looking at the mower. Let's have a good time out here.
How much time are you spending on social media? Mm-hmm. That's personal. That's personal. That's you. You ask yourself, and to thy own self be true. Be honest to yourself. Is it serving you? Is it helping you in your life? Does it arouse jealousy, suspicion, bitterness, anger? Do you feel yourself comparing, judging, feeling FOMO, not fitting in? Is it creating confusion or complexity in your life? If it is, why do you do it? Because the platform was built in a certain way. It was built to suck you in and create an addiction. So my challenge to people that I have none of that happen on social media because, I spend an hour every 6 months on it. You've been pounding into me. It is a wonderful platform, and there's wonderful people on it who are looking to improve their lives, find solutions for the problems or struggles they're having. And if we're not there sharing that, they won't find us. So I hear you, okay? It's going to be a process. Be patient.
Baby steps for Charlie. Baby steps.
Yes, but that isn't the case for a lot of people, and they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing on that right bar, all those things that are in this. And we have a suggestion. Hey, and when you log into Netflix, hey, this is what other people are doing. Who cares? I don't want to be like them. They watch hours of this garbage every day. Now, is there a way? Netflix isn't the problem. Facebook isn't the problem. Mm-hmm. Instagram isn't the problem. It's your addiction to it. That's the problem. And it's what you're focusing on. If I challenge somebody and I said, all right, so now if you've been honest, if you realize those things you're feeling those feelings, you're getting angry, it's not serving you, then in that moment, delete the apps off your phone and remove them from your desktop, whatever type of computer, which most kids don't even use, or an iPad-y thing, and remove them all and take the next 30 days without looking or posting or anything. And if that scares you, or if you say that's impossible, then you truly have an addiction. And we're not going into that today, but that is a day at a time. Anything is possible. I can guarantee you of that. Yeah, so I have other areas in my life, but that is not one that I struggle with. And it's because I ask my questions. How is this moving me forward? Because you nailed it, Kirstin. You said, okay, on this lawn cut today, which I'm excited to do, I want to learn LinkedIn platform a little better. Okay, I just made a little lie. I do now.
I would say that.
But I have never said that to myself. But I do want to now because I see the value. I see how it could be beneficial to help those suffering with, not social media issues, but with, the barriers, the biases, and the roadblocks that blindness and their mind is putting in front of them. That's what the Thriving Blind Academy does. We help break down those barriers so they can go beyond sight and beyond and succeed without it but part of that is going to be absolutely what you're feeding. So I'm right now, you and I have headphones in and we're feeding ourselves. I mean, I hear you, you hear me, and we produce these videos. I have another pair here. Here's another pair of headphones. These are the quiet comfort type of that block out the noise. So when I'm on my mower, I don't have to crank up the volume. It cuts down. And guess what? That heavy noise pounding you from mowers and blowers and weed whackers, and those of you who use that stuff, wearing, even if you're not listening to anything, just cutting that noise down improves your mind because it's more peaceful to use the tools. I have another on-ear type of headphone and most of mine all have the quiet, and I do have these Bluetooth type. These are hand-me-downs, and then I have the one in my ear here. And don't laugh, Kirstin, because I'm showing. Then I have in-ear. These are quiet. I like wired ones personally because the EMF waves that come in. Oh, wait, one more.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Here's the ones. And these are the ones I use for editing and working on the computer. They're connected. So for me, I'm legally blind, so I don't rely on what I see. I listen a lot more, and I see with my ears more than the average sighted person. But just think about it, Kirstin. When you get up, like one day, just document the entire day of how many messages came across your day. How many messages were thrown in front of you without your permission? Whether you're in the car, whether you're driving down the road and there's signs and billboards, whether the dumb radio has ads on it. I'm sorry, I like satellite radio. Because we can take control of our lives. We can take control of what we're feeding our minds.
Well, I'll tell you this, Charlie, to that point. Back 6 years ago, feels like 6 gajillion years ago, when my divorce started, and I was in a pit of I was in such negative self-talk and creating this life that was horrible because I was living in fear. I was living in a scarcity mindset, all of the things that are opposite of success when that happened. And this is, for people that it might not be divorce that people are experiencing, but it could be something major shift in your lives. And you're like, oh my God, I can't handle this. I reached out through podcasts. I was searching on YouTube and searching in podcasts about how to change my mindset, how to get all that negative to stop. I could not stop with negative and fearful statements in my head. And one of the things I found was Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. I still do it to this day. And it's basically, I encourage everybody to go look this up. It's basically you start your day filling your mind with you read things that are inspirational and practical. You do mantras that you write out how you want your life to be, and you say them out loud into the universe so that you start acting as if you already have everything that you need or want in this life. I start the day with positive stuff going into my mind, positive things coming out of my mouth, and it was literally life-changing. Like, you could look back on my life and see exactly when I started filling my first thing in the morning with positivity and inspiration, as opposed to grabbing my phone and seeing what emails I had to answer, if there were likes on Facebook, if somebody was putting anything negative in my stuff. Like, you can see the exact moment that I started filling my mornings with positive, as opposed to all of this playing catch up and FOMO and grabbing my phone. It was transformational to do just that one. And it was 20 minutes in the morning. Now I do it for a whole hour because I love it so much. But I dedicated 20 minutes to doing that, and it changed everything for me as a mom, for me as a person, for me as a business person. All of that changed just from putting positive stuff in my head at the start of the day.
Who are you feeding? That whatever proverb, we have two wolves in us. And one is, we all have negative. We all have, bad thoughts at times. We have depression thoughts. We have self-pity. This isn't fair. We have that guy in us, or that wolf. And we also have the spiritual, the positive, the seeking how to best serve, how to help make an impact. And who you feeding? And I was feeding the naughty one for many years of my life and struggling, wondering what is going on. Why is this so difficult? And then I started feeding the other one and putting that morning. Kirstin, a little embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you something.
Oh boy.
Here. I actually had a shower radio system that played CDs that I hung off the shower head. And the minute I got in the shower, it played certain kind of tonal music, and it was me sharing my affirmations with myself in the shower. So it was, I am so happy and grateful. I am now a great father who cares. I don't know. You know what I mean? There was affirmations, and then there was other person reading affirmations and I would be in the shower and a bang on the door. Hello, could you hurry up? Hold on. I'm not done with my affirmations. And so I had to start. I started in the shower, and then because I had to retrain my brain. Mm-hmm. And you know what the beautiful thing is? It's called brain plasticity. We can. And you can teach an old dog new tricks. You can change a belief. You can change a limiting belief. Question it. Question what's going on. Why do I think I should be or they should be? Why do I think he shouldn't act that way? She shouldn't treat me that way. Well, maybe not treat me, but they shouldn't do this. They should do it this way. Why am I comparing myself? Kirstin, what happens when you and I compare ourselves to someone? Well, in my life, I'm either better than or less than. I never come out the same. What's the sense of comparing?
Yeah.
So I don't compare as much. And like you said, a lot of these struggles just fell from me because I removed the toxic crap I was putting in my mind, and I started putting in, hey, why don't you try this today? Question your thoughts and wait for the answer. Is that true that blah, blah, blah? Is that true that if my father bought me a new car, I would be happy? Well, yeah, in the moment, but I remember my daughter saying, Dad, my friends, when they go to college, their parents give them credit cards. I said,
wow.
Well, someday I bet you I'll be coaching the parent and the child through their misery and depression. I said, you know what I mean? It's like, well, that means that I'm not the best father because I don't offer that. Of course not. No, matter of fact, I need that payment on your cell phone.
Right? Yeah, here's the thing. You said something a little while ago about it's not Facebook, it's not social media in general that's the problem. It isn't. This goes back to that whole take responsibility that we've talked about. The thing is, for people that still don't understand this point, social media is there and it's there to serve a purpose, and it can be very beneficial. You can connect with family members from, across the country that you don't get to see. And I know my parents love to watch all of my brothers and I posting pictures of the grandkids. Wonderful stuff, right? You can stay connected. But when you're on it all the time and not productive, you're not outside, doing a physical activity that you love. You're not getting stuff done around your house so that your environment is set up for success. The time you're putting into it is blocking the productive and growing opportunities that you have. So that is where it's the person, not the tool, that has the issue. And yes, we actually have these videos on a social media channel on YouTube to be beneficial. But I would challenge you, first of all, Charlie's got his challenge of staying off of social media or off of the news for 30 days. I would also say if you're going to do that, when you come back on, or if you're not doing those challenges, go put your feed, the things that you follow things that are inspirational. Follow people that you want to be like because they have a phenomenal purpose and they're making an impact in this world. Follow people that have podcasts that are inspirational or have a growth and success mindset and through line to all of their episodes. Put that kind of information in your news feed and watch how your life changes. Because if you're going to stick with the ones that you want to be like for some crazy reason and you'll never get there, or are in those groups where all you do is complain about the school and the district and how every policy is against you, your life is gonna stay where it's at and not improve. But you start getting into groups where it's all positivity and lifting each other up and offering your experience to help somebody else and being of service. Follow people that serve for a good purpose. Things will change, I'm telling you. And you should note it in a calendar when you started following, I don't want to say better accounts, but more inspirational and growth and success mindset types of accounts. Start writing when you follow them and then watch what happens with your own life. You'll be stunned at the difference.
You'll find that you're not blaming, complaining, rationalizing. You're not feeling jealous. You're not feeling envy or they're luckier than me and blah, blah, blah. That story just starts calming down because we realize if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Social media isn't going to do it for me, or an article or some sort of movie. Yeah, I'm jacked after I watch Rocky, but I don't box any better, and there's no more money in my bank account. You know what I mean? It's like, and if you're a liker, like somebody that keeps looking, oh, I only got 16 likes. I am such a loser.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Likes release dopamine. I'm a good oh, people are reading it. People are doing this. People are sharing it. Oh my gosh, finally, I'm okay. And oh my gosh, then I do another one and I believe in it. But only 8 people did. Oh, I'm a loser. That story is killing a lot of people. They actually count, look, and are concerned. And trust me, I look. And I say, okay, I must not have been able to help people enough. I know my content. I know what I'm providing and putting out there is valuable for somebody because it helps me. So if I put it out there, the right person, the right eyeballs, the right ears show up to it and they get value from it. Hey, if it's one person, I did my job that day.
Yeah.
So if I get 83 likes and all that, I am no better off. I might be in the moment because I think, but you said it, Kirstin. You said the word divorce. Well, guess what? We all need to divorce ourselves from selfish, dishonest, self-seeking motives throughout the day. I need to divorce my thinking from thinking the likes, the feedback, the what I'm getting from what I'm putting out there is my worth. No, I believe deeply in the movement you and I are up against and moving into and changing and impacting. And is it going to happen overnight? No. Are we, you and I doing this so we have 1 million followers? Absolutely not. We're doing this because we want to make that impact because you and I sit in a place, you as a parent of 2 blind children and me as a legally blind parent, husband, friend, child, as in to my parents, and sometimes I act like one. But we have many roles in life, and we understand that there's platforms, people that are out there trying to rob the life that you deserve. Maybe not deserve, but you need to build. They're trying to rob it. And we want to help put you back on course because we need all the help we can get.
Well,
okay, I should say I need all the help I can get. I better not speak for you.
I'll just bite my tongue on that one. No, just kidding. Here's a phenomenal example, case study, whatever you want to call it. People will say that things like social media help them stay connected to people. And there's research. We're not going to go into the nerdy research weeds here, but there's research about the fact that it's actually in-person socializing where you get the most out of a connection, right? You feel the most connected when it's in person. Here's what I did this when I was on the auto train last week, coming back by myself after dropping Michael off in Orlando for his big dream job. This is where 100% responsibility comes in, and it is not the platform, it is the person. I went into the dining car thing at dinner time and got this horrible, horrible burger because it was, Amtrak burger, whatever. And I was going to go back and sit in my seat, 4 cars away and do posts on social media and catch up with my friends that I hadn't seen in 5 days and see where everybody was at. It was a Saturday night, and see where they were all hanging out. And then I literally was walking and I stopped in the aisle of the dining car, and I looked around at all the tables and they were all full. But I saw one table where a guy was only on one side of the booth and the other side of the booth was open. And I almost went back to my seat and just did Facebook and Instagram. I thought, you know what? I was locked in the house and couldn't travel for how many years because of lockdown. I am not going to go sit on my phone. So I said to the guy, do you mind if I sit here? He was like, oh, it's open. It's all yours. We got into a conversation just about like he lives in New York and taking trains and oh my gosh. And then the people next to us got into the conversation. Then another table. Before I knew it, we were watching the end of a Rangers game. I hate the Rangers, but we were all, there was about 10 of us watching the end of a Rangers game on somebody's laptop. Then we got into listening to music and who listens to what music and old songs. It was 1:30 in the morning by the time we all were like, oh my God, it's so late. I met so many extraordinary people. We didn't even exchange first names until we were all the next day. We were getting our cars together. But it was one of the most connected, social, fun times I had ever had with people I didn't even know. And when I sat there on Sunday morning thinking about, in like the last hour of the ride, I thought, man, if I would have just sat on my phone, I would have done the whole, oh, they're all seeing that band, or, oh, I'm not at my daughter's basketball game. I would have felt horrible the whole night and probably wouldn't have slept. had a bunch of laughs and had to watch a Rangers game. Wasn't really thrilled about that, but had a great social time. Slept on the train like a rock for about 5 hours. It was fantastic. So it is not the platform. It is what you're choosing to do on that platform instead of being out in the world, making connections and having a great time.
E plus R equals O.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what that is, watch the Taking Responsibility video. And that is inspiring. And that's what happened. It disengaged us. I'm on the train, planes, when I'm moving around and doing my thing, 98% of the people are staring at I call it the idiot box. But I'm not saying the people are idiots, the boxes. Yeah. Unless it's used for, I'm listening to audio, but, doesn't mean, hey, listen, I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm not better than. I'm just sharing, listen, I was there. I did some simple things. I cut some things out of my life, and then I replaced it with some positive, and it opened me up to what's possible in life, and I did more of that. Mm-hmm. And trust me, I still do the wrong thing and get yucky results. And then I course correct and get back on. I'm not cured. I say this, I have a daily reprieve, and it starts in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, and I just want to make it clear, like, I don't say I do it right. I just find out what works for you. Mm-hmm. But I can but if you're not feeling connected and a lot of joy in your life and love, and you don't have people you hang out with and talk to and like punch and stuff, you know what I mean, like just kind of pal around with. If you just find yourself playing video games, you're on social media, you're staring at your phone, you're staring at your iPad, and you're wondering why you feel empty. And you're jealous all the girls are going out and they didn't ask you because of who knows why. It doesn't matter. Then maybe just try something different, right, Kirstin?
Oh yeah. I mean, what is it's the definition of insanity when you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you think you're going to get a different result. Like, that's the thing. Dip your toe. Take one step to do something else instead of opening social media and you just have that phone in your hand and nothing else, well, go into the podcast thing. I know there's a podcast called Brilliantly Resilient. Go listen to that one. You might recognize a voice on there. That's the podcast that I run. Or listen to one of my other favorites is Lewis Howes. Go listen to something, or you can listen to something in your interest niche. There's a podcast. There's probably a podcast for people that do knitting. I'm certain that there is. Go find something else.
Definitely.
Go find one of those podcasts. Actually, as we have to wrap up here, it would be really fun if, first of all, in the comments, if you let us know if you're going to do one of those challenges. 30 days without the news, 30 days without social media, or redoing the accounts that you follow that they're inspirational. And let us know which ones, if you have favorite ones that you like to follow that are inspirational and help you grow as a person. Put those in the comments too. And then also, if you have favorite podcasts, let us know. Put them in there.
And no, you're not alone. So people are struggling with it, and they mask it. They don't talk about it. They put pictures of them. They touch up they put apps on, and they make themselves look younger or brighter, or they give themselves bigger lips. My kids taught me all this, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I know. I have friends that you
That's
can't
crazy.
post a picture of them until they put their filters on, which is so funny, Charlie, because I can't even tell you. Everywhere I go, people say to me, oh my gosh, Kirstin, in person, you look just like you do online. I said, that's because I don't have room on my phone or any desire to have the filters to make me look any different. But that's why people know me in my town everywhere. They're like, oh, you look just like you do online. Imagine that.
And I know, and I love what you said, like, put down in the comments, come on, join in. Let's have some fun. Try it out. Right? Maybe it isn't the right thing. I don't know. But say, hey, my name is Dave, and I'm committing to a 30-day fast from news. And then follow up with, how did that work?
Yeah.
Personal experience, and you heard it from Kirstin. When we take something out, it opens up space for putting something healthy in. Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to look at. It's like a garage. I want to maximize my environment for success, right? A garage is an environment. My mind is an environment. So I take out some things. Actually, when I take things out of the garage, it just looks better, so I don't put anything else in there. But so that's the deal. Come on and join the challenge with us. And obviously, Kirstin gave you some ideas of different podcasts. Well, this is one. So after you've listened to everything we have, then you may move on. And tell us what more we could do. What other topics are you looking for? If I have experience, I've read a book, I took action, I implemented it in my life, we are willing to do those types of things. Mm-hmm. And it's something you think that Kirstin and I should put into our lives, please share it with us. We love to learn. I might have a little problem in that.
We would love to learn what it is that you all are keeping your success mindset and your growth mindset and personal development. So definitely share that with us. And listen, recommend this SUCCESSability YouTube channel to the people on your social platforms so that you can be a catalyst to having people change how they utilize social media and utilize it for growing their success mindset and designing the life of your dreams on your terms and taking responsibility for that. Thanks for tuning in to another episode here of the Kirstin and Charlie Chats on the SUCCESSability YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get our new video. I was going to say new video each week, but Charlie pops in some super fun ones. You have to go watch his playlist, especially the one of him on the bike, and let us know what you think about that one. We'll see you next time here.